Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is March 1st, 2026, and the supporter section could be back. I have all the details for you in regards to this great news. Also bad news because Robert Lewandowski is injured. And finally, interesting news coming out of England regarding Omar Marmoush. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Boo, and it's reported that Barcelona are currently working with the Catalan police to try to break back the supporter section for the Atletico Madrid match on Tuesday in the second leg of the semifinals of the Copa del Rey. Now, as you know by now, Joan Laporta and his board of directors decided to ban the supporter section a year and a half ago. Because they had sent them a bill, I think it was 27,000 euros for fines that Barcelona had received for conduct or not okay conduct or misconduct, I should say, of the supporters section. The supporters section refused to pay that bill, and then Joan Laporta and the board of directors banned them completely from the stadium. So for the last year and a half, Barcelona have been playing without a supporters section, which of course has turned the stadium into almost a cemetery with no chance and very quiet matches. But now, in order to help the team try to mount a comeback against Atletico Madrid, Barcelona are working with the Catalan police to allow 500 people from the supporters section to enter that area of the stadium, the north goal, in order to chant for the team. Now, as you know, the north goal is still closed because Barcelona have yet to receive the 1C license. The construction is complete on the north goal. All Barcelona are waiting for is that approval from the city. But since the license has not arrived on time for the semifinal against Atletico Madrid, Barcelona are working with the Catalan police to see if the government allows them to just have the 500 supporters in that section rather than, of course, the 14,000, which is the capacity of the north goal. We'll see whether the city allows this, but if they do, of course, this would be a huge boost because then the supporter section can lead the chant and hopefully the stadium will be supporting and chanting for the team as they try to mount what will be an incredibly difficult comeback against Atletico de Madrid. Now, speaking of the match against Atletico Madrid, one player who will not be present is Robert Lewandowski because the club have confirmed his injury in the following statement. First team player Robert Lewandowski picked up an injury in the recent game against Villarreal. Tests have diagnosed a fracture of the left eye socket. Ouch. He will miss the game against Atletico Madrid. Now, for those of you who were watching the match with me during the watch-along, we saw that little, it was like a head bump where that Lewandowski took to the eye and he kept touching it. And at first, it looked just like it was an innocent bump, but it looks like it was not because it actually broke the left eye socket of Lewandowski. And that is, I gotta say, very painful. I've never broken any of my eye sockets, thank God. I have been punched a lot in my eye sockets, as part of my MMA training, and it hurts like hell. So I cannot imagine what it feels like to have it broken. And to think that Lewandowski continued to play like that. And I think he scored the goal after getting hit in the face. I can't remember clearly. But either way, the fact that he continued playing with a broken eye socket, that's absolutely amazing. But of course, really bad news because Lewandowski will not be available for the match, which means we're going to have to depend on, God help us, Ferran Torres. Now, speaking of center forwards, one guy that Barcelona recently signed was, of course, Joaquin Delgado, the 24-year-old center forward that Barcelona have signed on loan from Real Oviedo's reserve team during this winter transfer market. And ever since he's arrived at Barcelona, he's been killing it for Barca Athletic, having scored 6 goals in 8 matches, bringing his total to 20 goals and 4 assists for this season. Incredible numbers for Joaquin Delgado. So much so that now people are calling for Joaquin Delgado to be promoted to the first team to take the place of the injured Robert Lewandowski. Now, of course, this would be a good solution since it looks like Joaquin Delgado is flourishing with the reserve team. However, if that happens, Joaquin Delgado will not be able to go back down to Barca Athletic. Why? Because he's already 24 years old. And any player who's older than 23, if they get promoted to the first team, that's it. They cannot come back down. So that, of course, would kind of nullify the whole purpose of bringing Joaquin Delgado, which was to help Barca Athletic get promoted. So on one hand, yes, it would be a good solution. On the other hand, we would leave Giuliano Belletti without a center forward in his effort to try to get promoted from 4th to 3rd division. Now, let me know down below in the comment section, what would you do? Would you promote Joaquin Delgado, giving the first team, another option in a center forward position, but leaving Giuliano Belletti without a center forward? Or would you not? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, while we're still on the topic of the match against Atletico Madrid, reports are stating that Joao Cancelo could be back in the starting lineup ahead of Alejandro Balde. Now, why would Flick, according to these reports, choose Cancelo over Balde? Well, that's because, of course, we're down by 4 goals, so we're going to have to score a lot of goals. So attacking is going to be a lot more important than defending. And since Joao Cancelo's offensive output is better than that of Balde, then it's reported that Flick will opt for Cancelo over Balde. The other reason also they're saying is that Giuliano Simeone also plays on the same side as Joao Cancelo. And of course, Giuliano is someone who likes to attack. But if Cancelo, who attacks a lot more than Balde, is on the same side as Giuliano, that will force Giuliano Simeone to defend more to attack. So not only Cancelo would give Barcelona more offensive output, it would also neutralize the offensive output of Giuliano Simeone. Now, of course, these are reports and they are not verified, or maybe they are true. But of course, as we know, Hansi Flick keeps his tactics pretty tight. But let's assume that this report is true. What do you guys think? Cancelo over Balde, is that the right choice? Yes, no? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, these reports are also stating that Marc Bernal will be getting his another start, this time against Atletico Madrid, of course, in the place of the injured Frankie de Jong. And well, when it comes to Bernal, I think this is definitely the right choice because we've all seen what Bernal can give the team, and him next to Pedri, I think, will be an absolute show to watch, entertaining show to watch, because the two of them, well, they are the future of Barcelona's midfield. Now, let's end today's video with some interesting news coming out of English media outlets, because as you know, the 27-year-old Egyptian attacker Omar Marmoush will be leaving Manchester City come this summer, since he hasn't been getting much minutes under Pep Guardiola. And well, now English media outlets stating that Manchester City would be willing to accept 30 million euros for the Egyptian attacker. Now, I have a little bit of a hard time believing this, because after all, Man City did pay 75 million euros for Marmoush. So it's kind of difficult for me to see them wanting to sell him for half of that. But assuming that this is true, of course, this begs the question, should Barcelona attempt the signing of Omar Marmoush, someone that we know Barcelona are currently tracking? Now, of course, to me, is a difficult decision. So I'm going to, leave it up to you guys. I want to see what you guys think. Because on one hand, I think Omar Marmoush is an incredible player to have. I would love to have him at Barcelona. On the other hand, he's not truly a center forward. He's more like Julian Alvarez's profile. So it's kind of like we're back to square one. But on the other hand, he would, if he does cost 30 million euros, I think that would be an absolute steal. So I don't know. 30 million euros for an incredible player who's not a center forward? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video before this one. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, peace, guys.